have brought and my have brought about a lot of progress and cooperation in these areas, trade and economic partnership within the nations. So I'm very glad and very gratified, and I believe that one of the key elements of my foreign policy has been strengthening our relations with our Arab brethren, and I'm very happy about the fruits of that relationship.
Thank you. May I ask you particularly about your visits, quite few visits to Saudi Arabia and to Syria?
Yes,
if you can elaborate a little bit on these visits. I'm sure you must have discussed the Arab-Israeli, for example, peace process. I wonder where you stand on that issue particularly.
Well, of course, as far as we're concerned, peace in the Middle East is very important to us. We have so many Filipinos there.
Absolutely.
And because we have Muslim brothers in our country. In fact, our region is a Muslim region. Southeast Asia is a Muslim region. To us, peace and development in the Arab world and the Muslim world is very important.
Yes. And anything you would like to mention about your visits to Saudi Arabia? And I remember you went and were at the opening of the university in Jeddah.
Yes.
Do you have impressions of this university, of this visit?
What a great university. That's going to be the Harvard of the future. And I'm
so?
very proud that we have some Filipino scholars who are there. They're very happy, and it's really it really establishes Saudi Arabia as a center for academic excellence in the whole world.
Also, the Prime Minister of Bahrain, Prince Khalifa, has visited
many times. He's visited the Philippines many times, and we have visited Bahrain also a few times.
I remember that. So, any specifics on this relationship with Bahrain that you like to highlight, or that you
Bahrain is a very, very good friend of the Philippines. Occasionally we have had, for instance, hostage problems in the Middle East. Not in Bahrain.
No,
in other countries, but Bahrain has been helped us a lot to solve those problems. And then we've had problems also sometimes with with a few of our Filipinos who have gotten into trouble with the law in the host countries.
True. Yes.
And they were some of them have been convicted and adjudged with the death penalty, and Bahrain has helped us very much to have the death penalty commuted.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of help as far as our overseas Filipinos are concerned, even Filipinos outside Bahrain, because of course within Bahrain, their life is very nice. The Filipinos' life is very nice there. So, but the Bahraini government has helped us even outside of Bahrain, and then we have now stronger economic relations. Trade and investment relations. So we have some Bahraini investments here in the Philippines, especially in agriculture.
Interesting. I remember during the 2006 war on Lebanon by Israel, I remember you had to evacuate all your...
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
Are you happy in general about the situation of the Filipino workers in the Arab world? Because I remember me and Carmen Petroza, we helped formulate some of these policies.
Certainly, in general, I'm very happy. I mean, we have what, 2.5 million Filipinos in the Arab world. So by and large, they are making a good contribution to the Arab world, and they're making a good contribution to our country as well. And we, of course, we honor our Filipinos who are working abroad because of their devotion to the country, to their families, and to their work. But we hope that the Philippines will be rich enough one day so that for a hardworking Filipino, going abroad will be a career choice. Absolutely. And not the only option.
That's really very, very true. Madam President, you're a woman president and a woman journalist, and we women still feel we have not really gotten all what we want from our societies at large. So I wonder, how were you able to serve women causes as a president? And indeed, did you find as a woman president in really a club of men, if you like? I mean, I often see your picture there with all these men around you. Was it intimidating at all? How did you feel?
Well, you know, men and male or female, they bring their own strengths to the table. I would say that there is a natural tendency for women to be more compassionate. And certainly that's very important character for leadership. You're right about many women feeling aggrieved. In terms of the empowerment of women, though, I'm very proud that the Philippines has one of the best track records. In fact, in the UN and World Economic Forum assessments, the Philippines is number 6 in gender parity in the whole world. The only countries that beat us are the 4 Scandinavian countries and New Zealand, and then we're number 6. So we have a very good track record there. Having said that, though, I recognize that that's not the way it is in all cultures. There are many cultures and many societies where the contribution of women to economic and social development is undervalued. So if a society is truly to become prosperous and modern, it is very important that policies be in place to ensure that the rights and welfare of women are protected and promoted.
How is the participation of Filipino women in the Senate, in Congress, as CEOs? Are they
very high, very high.
Very high.
That's why we rank number 6 in the world.
You personally, have you done anything specific to improve the welfare of women in the Philippines?
Well, when I was doing legislation, I worked on economic empowerment of women, and by having laws, for instance, to give them affirmative action rights towards credit, and also against working on legislation against domestic violence. So when I became president, I signed a number of laws also to protect the rights of women, for instance, against trafficking.
In short, I was the last journalist to interview Indira Gandhi, and
Yes.
I remember she told me that she thought women make better rulers than men. They have this ability for detail, to see detail. Also, they're more compassionate, being mothers. Excuse me, gentlemen. So, do you agree with that?
Well, as I said, male and female bring their own strengths to the table, but I do agree about the women having a natural tendency to be more compassionate, which is very important for leadership.
Yes, yes. I also want to talk a little bit about the presence of Al-Qaeda in your country, because
Yes.
there's been indeed reports, and the Philippines has victim to some of the acts and of Al-Qaeda. So, do they exist? How strong they are? Where are they? What are you doing about this?
If Al-Qaeda is here, their presence is limited. The Abu Sayyaf group that operates in Mindanao like to say they have Al-Qaeda links, but they're really not much more than a hated criminal gang. Anyway, having said that, the Philippines has been a leader in the fight against global terrorism. We've strengthened our intelligence gathering, our sharing with allies, the professionalism and training of our soldiers, so that we can eliminate room for terrorists to breed in our country. Also, I have a very strong belief that poverty breeds terrorism. So therefore, we have been, aside from aggressively pursuing terrorists like the Abu Sayyaf, we have also pursued soft power, which I mentioned earlier, building schools, basic infrastructure, providing food, security, shelter, and access to healthcare and better social services. So this paradigm that for peace combining soft and hard power has narrowed down the layer of hardcore terrorists in the south, and the people are safer than ever.
How strong is the Abu Sayyaf group?
As I said, very limited.
Very limited. Are they in the hundreds, in the thousands?
I don't think they're in the thousands.
About 400.
Yes,
And the military is unable to sort of get rid of them finally? I remember being here when they
Well,
kidnapped...
certainly the military has narrowed their lair.
Has narrowed.
Yes,
So
yes.
you're rather optimistic that you can overcome this problem for Al-Qaeda if it indeed exists. You're not sure that it does exist even.
As I